16-year-old Abel Smith just wanted a normal life, but when he opened an ancient book, his world shattered. He can lift objects with his mind, but his first magical act? Accidentally pushing his own mother off a balcony. A dark cloud loomed as it was already getting late. Abel, the young son of Benal and Lucas Smith, was 16 years old, and within him, an ancient magical power was beginning to awaken. This was a generational inheritance that his father had no knowledge of, but Abel's dreams always took him to a different realm entirely, a world of magic filled with precious things. Abel had gotten back from school that evening, exhausted from the beating he had taken from one of his classmates. Abel had always been a gentle and patient soul, but at the same time, he showed no respect for anyone. "Abel, you've been lounging like a lazy dog. What's wrong?" Benal asked as she entered the room with a cup of coffee. It was unusual for Abel to sleep like this, so Benal began to suspect his strange behavior. Unknown to Benal, Abel's lineage carried magical power, but his father had no idea that such power existed in their bloodline. The magic had been dormant for so long that it became nothing more than a forgotten story. Abel's grandfather knew about this ancient power, and he had written its secrets in a book hidden away in his house. Abel, during his last visit to his grandfather, had been warned never to enter a particular room. It was dangerous. But Abel's curiosity got the better of him, and he sneaked in. There, he found the book. Despite the warning, he took the book, and since then, everything had changed. "Mom, I'm good. You don't need to worry about me. I've just been feeling tired lately, but I'll be fine." "Maybe it's just because I'm getting older," Abel responded. "No, Abel, you're not the only one to turn 16. But anyway, your food is on the dining table. Go and eat." "Okay, Mom." Benal glanced at Abel's desk. "What's that on your table? A new book have you bought?" "Oh, you didn't tell me you got a new book." "Oh, no, Mom, don't go there. It's not a book." As Benal began walking toward the desk, Abel suddenly pushed her mother away. "Mom, please, I'm sorry. It's not something you should read." Abel grabbed the book and ran out of the room, hiding it where his mother wouldn't find it. Abel didn't bother helping his mother off the floor. He couldn't let her discover the magical events that had been happening to him ever since he started reading the book. His eyes would change to a green color, and he would feel an unusual power that allowed him to lift objects without touching them. He had levitated his bag, books, and other items in his room, but he didn't know how to control it. A noise came from the door. Abel's father had entered the house. Lucas walked into the room and immediately sensed something was wrong. "Darling, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so shaken?" he asked as he saw Benal coming out of Abel's room. "It's Abel. He pushed me away. He's been acting strange lately and I don't know why. Have you noticed anything?" "About what? What's going on with him? Is he insane for pushing you to the floor?" No, don't get worked up. Just calm down, Lucas. He's our son. We have to handle this carefully, okay?" "Okay, but where is he?" "Abel!" Lucas shouted, searching the house. Abel was confused and didn't know how to control his powers. He had no idea where the power came from, only that it all stemmed from the book. In the early stages of testing his abilities, the power seemed to amplify whenever he focused his mind on it. Now, feeling uneasy, he hid in the bathroom. He couldn't bear to face his mother after what he'd done, and he had no idea where he'd found the strength and courage to push her. Guilt gnawed at him. He tried to avoid his parents, moving from the restroom to the balcony, but his mother soon caught him. "Abel, what did you just do to me?" Benal yelled. As Abel turned to face her in fear, his eyes flashed green, and suddenly the power surged uncontrollably, pushing Benal off the balcony and onto the floor below. The force of his magic was overwhelming, and with his anger, he couldn't contain his emotions. "Mom, Mom!" Abel cried as he raced downstairs to help her. "But, Mom, please, I'm sorry. I don't know how I did it. Please," Abel pleaded while Benal lay unconscious. His father, Lucas, ran outside panicking. "Leave, Abel," Lucas yelled. "I said leave," he shouted again as he hurriedly carried his wife inside and laid her on the chair. Lucas slammed the door shut, locking Abel out. Abel stood there, stranded in the dark. Tears welled up and spilled from Abel's eyes. He couldn't control his emotions. He peeped through the window and saw his mother slowly regaining consciousness. That sight gave him a small sense of relief, but he continued to beg, whispering apologies into the cold, dark night. "What do you want? I told you to leave," Lucas shouted again from inside angrily. "Just let him be, okay? I don't think he have any intention of pushing me down the balcony," Banal said slowly as she stared at Abel from the little hole at the door. "Abel, I wouldn't want to repeat myself, and you would hate me forever if I dared lay my hands on you. Get out and leave this vicinity before I get hold of you," Lucas screamed. Abel, realizing that all his pleas were falling on his father's deaf ears, picked up his book and his dirty self as he headed out in the dark. "Where should I go to?" Abel thought as he stood at the gate staring at nowhere in particular. He had no friends living around except for those staying in the school's boarding house. He made up his mind as he walked gently in the dark to his school's boarding house. Abel met the security of their school sleeping. He gently took off the slippers he was wearing as he tiptoed toward the boys' hostel at the east wing. He would stop every minute to check if there was anyone following him or someone is coming to front before he would continue walking toward the boys' hostel. Finally, he got to the big building and stared at the security there. They were discussing and laughing at every little joke. There wouldn't be any way to get past them without noticing. He looked at the fence as if it was tall as a tree. He stood there staring at it till a thought suddenly flashed into his mind. He held his book tightly as he tried to fly through the fence, but all his trial proved abortive. Just as he was about to give up scaling through the fence, the power he used earlier suddenly surged through him as he jumped and landed heavily inside the boys' hostel. "Who is there?" One of the securities jumped up suddenly, putting on his flashlight toward where Abel had landed. Abel picked up his wounded self as he rushed to hide behind a wall. He rubbed his wound hard as he waited for the security to return to their seat. When he made sure they were gone, he sneaked out as he walked up the stairs toward his friend's room. Since the doors are not always locked, he gently opened the door and he sneaked in gently. "Who is there?" Jack, one of Abel's friends, asked as he turned on the light beside his bed. "What's that, Jack?" Leo asked, Abel's second friend, trying to get up. "Look, it's Abel! What are you doing here?" Jack asked as he hurriedly stood up from his bed and walked over to hold Abel's hand. Quickly, Leo got down from his bed and opened the door to check around, making sure that no security were tailing Abel. "What happened to you, Abel? Why are you here at this hour?" "I will explain to you guys, but first, I need to get this wound treated first," Abel said, showing his wounded arm to Jack and Leo. Without much hesitation, Jack brought out his little first aid kit as they started cleaning Abel's wound. "Can you fill in our curiosity?" Leo asked immediately Jack finished cleaning off the wound. "And what's the book you are holding all about?" Jack asked, trying to take the book off Abel's armpit. "No, don't touch the book." Jack and Leo continued staring at the book Abel was holding tightly onto his armpit as they all retired to bed that night. Jack would take a second to stare at the book, and whenever he's about to touch the book, Abel would shift immediately, preventing him from getting anywhere close to the book. When he got tired of shifting each time, he placed the book under his clothes and hugged it tightly like a one-year-old baby. Jack and Leo would signal to each other as they continued making an effort to see the content of the book. This went on for a while till they got tired and all went to their separate beds since they had to attend class the next morning. Abel targeted himself and woke up early before anybody in the boarding house. He took his book along as he rushed to take his bath and returned to his friend's room as he waited for them to wake up. Jack struggled to open his eyes as he yawned and tried to tap Abel beside him. When he realized that nobody was sleeping close to him anymore, his eyes shut open immediately. He was about to stand up from his bed and inquire from Leo about Abel's whereabouts when he spotted him at his desk going through the book that he had brought alongside with him yesterday. "Damn it, Abel, you scared me," Jack said, holding his chest in the dark. "What did I scare you of?" Abel asked, closing the book he was holding as he stared at Jack. "I was scared that you may have gone outside and maybe the security have caught up with you," Jack said, walking closer to where Abel was sitting. "Can you guys just shut down for once? I'm trying to catch a good sleep here." "Dude, it's daybreak already. I'm trying to ask Abel the contents of the book he's hiding from us and why he left home yesterday all of a sudden." "Oh, about that. Hold on, guys, you can't listen to it all alone." "About this book, nobody is allowed to get hold of it or try to see the content inside it," Abel said frankly on his face. "Why shouldn't we open our friends' books? Anything that's yours also belongs to us, your friends, right?"
Yes, you can open all my books, but this particular book is exceptional. Jack exclaimed, staring at Leo. Fine, we won't touch your book, but on one condition, Leo said, sitting up in his chair. What's the condition? You will be handling our assignments every day until you're ready to tell us the contents of the book. Jack said every day that Abel is more brilliant than them, and he has been the top of the class competent. No one has ever competed with him, but he is the most broke student in the school. That's super hard. Abel thought about it for a while. He do not want to lose the book, and he would have to do something to protect the book. Okay. I will do that if that's the only condition. Abel said, staring at Jack and pleading within himself that they don't add any more conditions to the one their conditions gave him. You bitch! You want to make us forget, right? What brought you here? Jack asked again. I was sent away from... The bell rang for a wake-up call just as he was about to finish his sentence. Ignore the bell. Where were you sent away from? From home. I want to start staying with you guys for now. Staying with us? Abel, you know that can never be possible. Seeing you with us? That everybody knows that you are poor as a church rat. I wouldn't stick so low to be living with you. Should you understand? Abel fell those words. He couldn't find the right words to say. He was indirectly abused, but he wouldn't count that. So, please, what can I do now? I need your help.
There won't be any need for you to panic, Abel. We stay in the boarding house and nobody dares deal with us. So be patient. We will leave for school very soon, Leo said, patting Abel's back. Leo accepted because he is the most dollar in the class, but came from a rich family, while Jack is still a little brilliant, but not like Abel is. Abel gave out his third school uniform to Abel since they were almost the same size and nobody would easily detect that he was putting on an oversized shirt. They got to their classes and quickly settled down for the morning class. They finished up their morning classes and all went out when it was time for recess. Immediately, they all heard the bell for recess. They jumped out of the class and rushed towards their normal spot to stand and stare at the girls. Jack and Leo were standing close to the staircase while Abel was just staring as everyone passed. Leo, how about we trick Abel into meeting his crush? Jack whispered to Leo. He is finding any way to embarrass Abel so he can angrily leave their place so quickly. How? Since he can't get his eyes off her, we should just lie to him that we've assisted him in talking to her, that all he just needs is to talk to her. That's not a bad idea, Leo said, nodding at Jack before turning towards Abel. But he didn't fish out where Jack is heading to. Abel, do you still have a crush on Rachel? Jack asked, pretending to be a good friend. Yeah, I'm still looking for a way to talk to her. I think it would be best if I approached her best friend, Maureen, Abel said, staring at Rachel, who was standing far away from them with her best friend, Maureen. How would you feel if we told you that we'd talked to Rachel about you and she feels the same way also towards you? All you just need to do is approach her with all sincerity and continue from where we stopped. Can I trust you? Are you serious? Yes, trust me. You know I cannot do you any harm. Well, we've done that for you. Since you've been eyeing her from here, why don't you approach her instead and finish from where we started from? Thank you, guys. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have any one of you as a friend. I will be back. Abel dusted his clothes and adjusted some of them that seemed to shift to the other side before he walked over to where Rachel was standing with her best friend, Maureen. When Jack noticed that Abel was already walking towards Rachel, he walked over to the middle of the hall and clapped his hands together, getting the attendance of almost all the 50 students hanging around the hall. Drum rolls, please. As expected, drum rolls started coming from the back, even though no one knew what Jack was up to. Can we all cheer Abel up? He's walking over to confess his love to his crush over there. Many people started laughing immediately Jack said that. No one expected Abel to have that kind of courage. He's gonna make a fool of himself in front of the goddess of our school. He's Jack and Leo's errand guy, but he doesn't respect himself and has a crush on someone his level. Guys, let's just leave him and watch how he's insulted badly by the goddess." Leo returned to Jack as they both laughed and stared at Abel walk over to Rachel. The more Abel got closer to Rachel, the more his heart kept beating heavily because he has never talked to his crush ever since he began high school. "Hi, Maureen," Abel said to Rachel's best friend, smiling. "Hi, Abel, what do you want?" Maureen asked, rolling her eyes at Abel. Then he skipped Maureen and went straight to Rachel. "Hi, Rachel. Can I talk to you for a minute?" "Yeah, sure," Rachel responded politely as she tried to calm her friend down with her hand. Immediately, they were a few meters away from Maureen. Rachel suddenly stopped. "Can you just say what you called me out for?" Rachel asked, getting pissed off. "Okay, Rachel, I love you, and I've been holding back for a while now. I didn't know how to approach you, and I just thought of killing that today," Abel said with his heart bleeding with fear. Since he had been in the school, he has never approached any girl, talk less of Rachel, who every guy of the school dies for. They always say, who dared to date her must be a lucky guy, or come from the most richest family in the world. "Rachel, I would be very happy if you could accept me," Abel said with pleading eyes. "It seems you don't know your class anymore, huh? How dare you approach me in such a manner?" With that, a heavy slap landed on Abel's cheeks. Abel couldn't hold the pain. He used his left right hand hold the cheek because it saw like the cheek want to fall on the floor. "Well, who gave you the audacity to approach my best friend?" Maureen wasn't cool with the way she watched Rachel from afar. She just had to approach them. "What the hell are you doing here, Abel? Aren't you okay with the slap, or do you want another one?" "Maureen, hope you hear what the fool says. He loves me." "Wait, you mean you love her? Can you even afford anything she possesses? You are way below me, not to talk of Rachel here. Do you know who she is?" Rachel Smith is a very intelligent and outstanding girl. She's from a very influential and rich Continental Airlines family. They control all the airlines in the country. That made her more popular to the extent that she got the name Goddess from most guys in their school. See how sad he is because two ladies are standing in front of him? I'm sure he's gonna pee in his pants if he stands there for a few more minutes. The students inside the hall were still laughing and making fun of Abel when 5 students walked in. 2 were known as the boss, while the other 3 were known as their errand boys in the school. "What's happening here? Can you see that Abel is approaching Rachel and trying to process his love for her? Oh, really?" The 2 guys stared at Abel for a while before they moved to the middle of the hall. "Isn't that Mrs. Banal's son who works in one of my dad's restaurants as a waitress? His father is also working as a security in one of my father's estates." "What?" The whole school gasped in shock as they stared at the 2 rich guys standing in front of them, before they all turned to stare at Abel, who was still standing at the same spot. "What? Did I just hear Francis mention that Abel's mother works in one of his dad's restaurants? Hold on, guys. Who is Francis? I'm getting confused here." "That's Francis over there with a white wristwatch. His father owns Soylent Corporation, which is well known in society. In fact, his father owns up to 6 restaurants in this city alone and 3 in the next city. I still find it hard to believe that Abel's father is also a security on one of Alex's father's estates, knowing how brilliant and intelligent Abel is. If I could check out all the names of everyone in this school and their net worth, I'm sure Abel would be the one to have the lowest net worth." "What do you mean using lowest for Abel? He had nothing. Can't you see that he's putting on an oversized shirt and even a turned pant trousers? His poor mother can't even help closing up the patches, tisk." Wait, guys, what baffles me is that he even has the guts to show up in a prestigious school like ours. What effrontery! Only the rich and middle rich are allowed into such prestigious schools like ours. It keeps me wondering who the heck accepted him into our school. Should we deal with him, guys? No, leave him to Francis and Alex. I'm sure they're ready to make life miserable for him, knowing that his parents work for their families. I can't wait to watch the drama that's about to unfold. Abel stood there watching Rachel and Maureen walk out on him. He looked at them with a broken heart, but his friends had already talked to Rachel about him. How did she not accept him when he came? Was it because he wore an oversized shirt or torn pant trousers? What is wrong with him? Did he make a mistake in any of his words, or was his mouth smelling? That he couldn't find the right words to use to approach her? Abel thought of what to do before turning back and met the unexpected. He had no idea that many students were behind him, staring at what happened between him and Rachel, his crush. He looked around for his friends, hoping they'd get him out of this silly mess they put him into, and when he finally found them, he saw them laughing at him. He was shocked that even his friends were laughing at him. He wanted the ground to open up and swallow him, but it wasn't opening. He looked around for a vacant door to escape the shame, but instead, all the students had blocked all his access. Just take a look at how bad he looks. I wouldn't even want him as a friend. All he just does is walk around as an errand boy to Jack and Leo. The student kept spilling all sorts of words to him. Francis and Alex stared at him for a while before they walked closer to him. "Oh, that was terrible. I couldn't expect that you intentionally trapped me," Abel said as he left them standing angrily. As he was going, thinking he had set himself free from the bandage he had put himself on, just leave him alone. As poor as he is, he's still trying to mingle with the goddess of the school. Those words began to ring behind him. Abel looked dejectedly on the floor as he tried to control the tears that were planning to fall. He was about to take a step forward when Alex suddenly stopped him. "You move an inch and your dad gets sacked from his job, and I will make your life miserable in this school."
"You should pick up the dirt and stop wasting your time spewing rubbish," Vivian, Sarah's friend, said. Abel stared at the students' mocking faces and shook his head before walking back to the spot and started picking the dirt all over again. Abel would place the waste bin at the corner of the hall to pick up a little dirt on the table. Before he got back, the students standing around would have spread all the dirt again in the hall. He was still picking the dirt when the hall door suddenly burst open and everywhere became silent. Abel wondered what was going on as every student looked calm. Abel was very unhappy about the kind of situation his friends had put him in, but he had no choice since they were the only ones who had agreed to live with them. Jack and Leo weren't mingling with Abel just because he was from a poor home. They were getting close to him because of how intelligent he was, and he most times helped out with their assignment. If only Abel understood the power he carried, he wouldn't be harassed like this. The power that has more value in the vampire world. In the vampire world where Abel's father deafened, though his father knew nothing about the magic world because he refused to obey his ethnicity. Yet he didn't follow or go close to his father, Mr. Banad, Abel's grandfather. Abel watched Francis and Alex walk away with his 3 minions. He couldn't form a tear as he tried to. With that, he makes a plan to learn magic. He was about to walk into his class when Jack and Leo approached him out of nowhere. "Where were you guys when I was being ordered around in school?" Abel asked. Meanwhile, he knew that they intentionally did it, but it's not right to question their decision. "We didn't know that Rachel belonged to Francis before we pushed you for it. Believe me, we talked to Rachel about you earlier, and she agreed to talk to you. We don't know why she suddenly changed," Jack said when he noticed that Leo wanted to confess. "You guys should just let go of me. I'm exhausted and need to rest for a while." Jack and Leo let go of Abel as they walked into the class before him. Immediately, Abel stepped into the class and everyone burst into heavy laughter. He stared at them confusedly, wondering what was going on and why they were laughing. He even looked up at his teacher and made him laugh also. "What's wrong with my dress?" Abel thought, trying to find out what exactly was wrong with him that made his classmates burst out laughing immediately they saw him. Abel shrugged his shoulders and was about to walk over to his seat when his teacher suddenly stopped him. "Where do you think you are going, you this shameless human being? You look so dirty and unkept. Go take care of yourself and report back here within 30 minutes. "I need to pick up something from my locker," he lied, thinking that the teacher would pardon him for today. "Fine. Don't just stain anyone with your dirty body." As he passed by, many students were whispering behind him. "Look at how dirty he is. He really looks like someone who just lost his parents, whereas his parents are still very alive but useless. Francis and Alex really dealt with him today. I just wish they could continue dealing with him every recess till he finally gives up and drops out of this school. He doesn't belong here." Words from classmates. They hate him, and that's not only today, but since the day they found out he is more brilliant than them. Abel finished picking up what he had come to the class for. Then he realized the teacher said nothing but waited for him to get out of the class. He walked over to the toilets to clean up his dirty body when he met one of his seniors on the way. He wished he had mastered how to use all his powers. It would have given him full access to deal with everyone bullying him. He wouldn't have to go through the pain he went through during recess in the hands of Francis, Alex, and the rest of his schoolmates. Abel held his head as he stared at his magic book inside his clothes. He shook his head before walking into the male toilets. He ended up ready to head to the hotel when he met the head teacher, Mrs. Caitlin. "Why are you outside?" she immediately asked. "I was sent outside, ma'am, till after this class." "Why?" "No teacher would dare send you outside by this time for no tangible reason. Get up and move to your class immediately." "I can't, ma'am. The teacher will send me back." "Fine, let's go together." Abel led the way to his class, while the senior teacher trailed behind him. A lot of thoughts kept going through his mind as he walked slowly, till he finally got to his class. "Good day, ma'am." "Yes, you sent Abel out of your class. Could you tell me the reason?" "I'm sorry, ma'am. Abel is lying. He left the class voluntarily, saying my own class was too boring for him. I can ask the rest of the class about it." "No, ma'am, I was only sent out because my clothes were dirty." Abel had been in class before I entered, and all of a sudden he walked out saying my class was too boring for his liking. I was hoping to finish and write a statement about his recent nonchalant attitude. You can confirm from the whole class. "Is this true about this guy?" "Yes, ma'am." The senior teacher stared at the whole class, then back to Abel before a student stood up. "This isn't the first time Abel will walk out on our teachers. Most of the time he threatens to organize the underground to beat up any teacher that dares to report him. Kindly look into it, ma'am, because we don't want to lose any of our teachers." "What? How dare you, Abel?" "Ma'am, they're all lying against me." Abel kneeled down immediately with tears filling up in his eyes because he knew what was going to happen next, and immediately he stepped out of his class. They hate him, and by all means they want him out of school, including his friends. "You are suspended for 1 week, and you will serve all the necessary punishment according to the laws of this school." If only they knew who they suspended, a savior, a powerful man in the magic world, they would be begging him to come to school. Abel felt sad. He was chased out of the home, chased out of school. Now he must not be seen within the school premises, not even with his friend again, since he has been suspended. He has to pack his load and go home for a week. Everything changed when he found the magic book. His character, what he ate, and the feast that gripped him while learning the magic killed all sorts of confidence in him. It made him useless until he learned the magic effectively. While stepping out of school, a car parked in front of him. A woman in an elegant dress, dazed with a blade, steps out of the car. Looking at her, he must be identified as a fighter. "Hey, are you Abel?" "Yes." Abel moved back, unaware of how the lady knew his name. "How do you know my name?" "Well, there is no room for explanation. If you want to secure the book with you and still want to stay alive, follow me," the lady said rudely, then turned back to her car. "Hey, wait, what do you want? How do you know that I hold the magic book? How may I help you? Do you know my grandfather?" You're stressing me out. I can't answer all your questions. I'm sorry, but by the way, I'm Bianca." Blanca. Abel digests the name. He had never heard the name before, talkless of seeing him. Bianca started the car and drove off, but
Thank you for watching till this time. Check my channel for part 2 of this video.